Okay. On behalf of the City of Gallup, I want to welcome all of you and thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come out and join us on this pretty much historic occasion. I look around at this property and I think back a few years ago when we had a wooden bridge right over here that you kind of held your breath when you crossed. It had outlived its lifespan, and we knew that we were responsible for replacing the bridge to open up this Allison corridor, which in the future now, working with the federal government and the state DOT, is going to create an opportunity to make another an off-ramp off of Interstate 40, so another overpass on I-40. With that being done, and thanks to Governor Susana Martinez for plopping down $6 million for the needs of the city, because we didn't have the money to do it, and she recognized the need and the potential for the growth of this community, as well as opening up many more corridors for our traffic safety issues. So getting that done, and then the foresight of the council and all the staff of the city, and saying we need to get in real time and be energy efficient the best we can with our city. So fortunately, our contract with Continental Divide stated that we could provide 10% of our own power in renewable energy. I know that Continental Divide has a percentage that they do, and with a partner of them and discussing it and working it out, this solar farm will provide that 10% of power that we can legally provide under contract. In future administrations, I hope they reach forward and look at more potential to provide more power, where we can become self-sufficient in our own community. Things are changing worldwide, and we need to be cognizant of taking care of ourselves, because there might be a day where we can't depend on others. So through the great partnerships of many people, including Continental Divide, the city staff, the state of New Mexico, all the partnerships, the crews that came out and did all the work, along with putting in the overpass in this park, it required every department of the city to be involved. And it went pretty smooth. I want to thank Mr. Richard Matsky, our director of our electrical department, for being the driving force and being the glue that kept everyone together and working forward. I want to recognize a couple of dignitaries that are here with us today. New Mexico State Representative Wanda Johnson is with us in the crowd. There she is. She's the only one, or second person smart enough to carry an umbrella. I only carry it when it rains, Wanda. That'll be this afternoon, hopefully. We also have Cal Curley here, Representative Senator Udall from Washington. So Cal, thanks for coming out. It's really a good feeling when you see a vision, a job that needs to be done, the foresight of everyone coming together to get it started, to go through all the bureaucracy, all the politics, jump through all the hoops, and see it come to fruition. I believe this solar farm, and Richard might say later, has been online now for a few weeks to a month. So we've been putting power into the grid. And it took the foresight of the city about 6-7 years ago when we initiated the opportunity to buy the substations that are all located within Gallup. I don't know if there's 5 or 6 substations that we purchased from P&M, but that gave us the right to put power in and control it. Another driving force to make this all happen was our former city attorney, Mr. George Kozlowski. George came down from Denver to be with us. Thank you, George. Through his guidance, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, he had the foresight to make sure that everything was done properly. And then I want to thank our current city attorney, Mr. Curtis Hayes, for following through at the tail end to make sure it happened. Curtis, where you at, Curtis? There you are. I saw a few shiny heads out there. I didn't know which one was yours. And then I thank also the city manager, Mary Ann Eustick, for her efforts and keeping the council apprised and pushing the buttons for the city staff and allowing them to do their duties and their responsibilities to bring all this together and bring it to where we're at today. It's an exciting day. It's the best use of property that we feel in our hearts is the right thing to do. And I look forward in the future when Gallup creates its own generating stations, not to scare you Continental Divide employees away or to talk about Tri-State, but you know, I know you're aware of it and you're doing all you can to meet the needs of our area here in the Southwest, to get renewable energy, to take the pollutants out of the air, and bottom line, to make us feel good about where we're at and where we're going. So it's a great day. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be part of this administration that took the guidance, suggestions, and ideas to make this a reality. So with that, we have a couple council members here. I'd like to invite each one of them to come up and state a few words. I'll start with Councilman Alan Landavazo.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jackie has offered a lot of thanks here this morning. I would have to repeat those thanks. Richard, you have stayed the course in making this happen. It's a great project. I think the citizens of Gallup can really be proud of what's happened here. Marianne, Curtis, George, and I have to say, to our mayor, you know, one of the things that was unique about our mayor when he first was elected to office about 7 years ago, we brought a list of projects to him, and he's always had a positive attitude, a can-do attitude. Let's see how we can get it done. And that's how he's approached his leadership in this community from day one. And I think this solar park is an example of that. He's like all of our city employees, he stayed the course. We can get it done. We can get it done. Stay the course. Stay positive. Let's work together. And this is a great accomplishment. Thanks to all of our city employees. It's been a long time coming. And again, I think this is a great project for the city of Gallup and all the citizens, something that we all can be proud of. Thank you.
Councilor Linda Garcia.
Good morning. Thank you. This is a great day in history for the city of Gallup, and the two gentlemen before me, our mayor and our councilor, Alan Landavazo, said everything that needed to be said, but I just want to repeat also to thank each and every one that was part of this history today, and I feel that this is just the beginning of solar. I would love to see solar and everything that we have, and in the future, with the council and the mayors that come up before and after us, or with us and after us, that we continue to work together. And again, the mayor had a vision, and the councilors, I want to thank each and every one of them because we had the same vision going forward and with the solar, and we look forward to having many more. Thank you very much, and God bless.
I would be remiss if I didn't thank and compliment the local solar group. I see Mr. Bright in the crowd and your group for continuing to think about innovative ways. We know in our rural area, living here in the Southwest and the surrounding reservation properties, that solar is a thing that would bring energy and a quality of life to many people that are out in our areas that have no electricity, no running water. So hopefully your group, Bill, will continue those efforts and bring power to every individual. We live in America. We're not a third world country, so everyone deserves to be able to walk into their house and have all the benefits that we do within the city. I also want to thank Standard Solar. When we put out the RFP for this project, believe you me, there was a lot of bells and whistles, hoops to jump through, pretty complex and pretty convoluted. But if you don't know, Standard Solar, through their financing mechanisms, they put all the money up for this. The city of Gallup didn't. And they trusted us for the next 20, 25 years, whatever the term of the agreement and contract is, that we will pay them back. They will get paid for the energy that goes into our system at a very good rate. So I thank Standard Solar for their efforts. I thank Magnum Renewables for the construction work that was done out here. I know you had some issues because of our unique area, our unique soil out here, but you guys dealt with it very professionally and did what you needed to do. So with all that said and all the thanks out, if I didn't mention your name or your group, you are thanked, because we know this was a combination of many, many people to make this possible. I'd like to bring up the man that was the leader of the pack, the wagon master, as I call him, the guy that was responsible to keep everybody in line and answer our questions. What's going on? Why is it not done? What's the holdup? Let's go hold people accountable. And we have one guy that did all this, and he did such a good job, he decided to retire next month and go out to pasture. So Mr. Richard Matsky.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a few people I want to thank too. I want to thank Mayor and Council for being here today to celebrate with us. Oh, yes, sir.
Get right up to the microphone. Kiss it. Kiss it while you're talking.
I'll see how intimate I can get with this microphone. Want to thank all the city staff for attending, celebrating with us. Want to thank the folks that helped us put this event together, especially Utilities Administration staff. Parks Department was a big help. Of course, Electric Department. Before I go on, I want to mention Ed Reyes. He was here with us from the beginning. He and Eddie Padilla put together the study that demonstrated that a project like this could be economically feasible and work for the city. And that was presented to council, and that was where we got the authorization to proceed with this project. So it was back on August 31st when we were gathered here for the groundbreaking. As the mayor mentioned, this area looked quite a bit different. We had to cross over the old bridge to get here. There was very little work that had been accomplished on this. Don't let me interrupt. Very little work had been accomplished on this site at the time of the groundbreaking, so what you see today is quite a bit different than less than a year ago. Mayor also mentioned the uniqueness of the site. We mentioned it at the groundbreaking, but I want to recognize George Kozlowski. I think he was the one that first put forward the suggestion of using this site, but this was an ideal site that was already owned by the city. It's close proximity to one of our substations. We have 2 feeder circuits that pass through it, so it enables us to do a split design on the plant. This is actually 2 plants connected to 2 different feeders. So just a lot of things about this site made sense. The fact that it's in a floodplain, it's not really usable for other types of construction. So great site, and we think it's a good use for the site. I've had a lot of people ask me over the past few months, when is the project online? And when I tell them not quite, and they want to know, well, when will it be? And more recently, they've been asking me, well, what are you going to do with it? Well, what we're doing with it is we're buying the energy from it. This project has been online officially since May 24th of this year. And in that time, it's produced 3.3 million kilowatt hours of energy already. We're projected to save about $20,000 the first year of operation, and through 2025, we're projecting about $750,000 in savings. It's already been mentioned before, the city does not own this project. Our role in the project, we furnished the land, we did the construction, we provided the utility connection, and lastly, we're paying the bills. Our partners in this project are Mangan Renewables and Standard Solar. Mangan provided the design for the project management during construction. Standard Solar is now the owner and providing long-term financing. So next up, I'd like to introduce H.D. Bosch. He's known to a lot of you. He was our main contact throughout the project. He brought a lot of expertise, and we really appreciate everything he was able to do for us.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Very good. You want to introduce Scott?
Yeah. It was 10 months and 17 days that I stood here and told everyone, I am excited! That was at the groundbreaking ceremony. Today, at the ribbon cutting ceremony, I can look backwards. And I can look over this nice solar farm. And I know we have fulfilled the wishes of many Gallup citizens who waited many years to get it done. Where is he? Mayor Jackie McKinney. He is somewhere around there. Honorable City Councilors, Dignitary, Richard Metzke, Scott Waiter. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I said I'm satisfied and happy. A solar system, 35 acres, state of the art, tracking on a flood zone. This is an achievement. And I can tell you all about that well thought through, intelligent, brilliant, I have to say, wonderful work I did to make it happen. No, kidding. It's not about me, not at all. It's all about the team. It's about the local men and women who worked here in hot and cold weather. I can tell you, cold, freezing cold, in rain, in snow, and with a lot of sandstorms. And I had to face quite a lot of challenges. And I mastered all of them. So this is all about the team. Challenges. I can talk for hours about it, but I don't do it. However, 3 major challenges I like to explain so that you understand that this is not a typical solar farm. The first is, you can see the 5,039 piles. You don't have to count them. But what you don't see is what effort it took to get them into the ground. This is a dump yard. There is debris in, and mainly concrete. Concrete as large as a ton a block and more. You can't take me by the word. Engineers don't exaggerate. We leave this to marketing and sales. The second challenge, you see all the nicely lined up solar rows. It took a lot of earthwork to even the field while guaranteeing that the slope is correct in every place so that the stormwater can run off. Now you don't see it. It looks like as it had been, but it changed a lot. And the third challenge, you can see it. Not from here, but when you go to the other side, to the west side, you can see high up solar rows. Why are they that high? One word, flood zone. We had to get the solar panels 6 feet high clearance so that they stay above the water when the 100-year flood will come and overflow this area. Now, 6 feet high, plus this has to be long piles. That is a highly atypical solar farm. And our team had to work with long piles. Take a desk. What is the length of that pile? 10 feet? 16. He is right. 16 feet. 8 feet into the ground, another 8 feet up. So it's about 3 times me, almost. It was quite a different challenge to get them in. I said it's all about the team. I would like to name all the locals who worked in here. As far as I know, about 58 locals, but I didn't get the time to name them all. So I only want to let everyone know that team here was a pleasure to work with. My special thanks goes to Richard and your team. You had your challenges too. Substation upgrade, connection to the solar farm, first you ever did and your team. But whatever issue popped up, your team mastered it. Thank you and your team. And I'd like to include my gratitude for an outstanding cooperation between your team and us from the very beginning to this day. I'm really thankful. It is not self-evident. I'd like to close with, I enjoyed working on especially this solar farm for you, the citizens of Gallup. Now you can enjoy your solar farm for the decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name's Scott Wider, and I'm with Standard Solar. I'm very excited to be here as well, and thank you all for coming out. One of the reasons this project is so personally special to me, because in 1919, my great-grandfather packed up his family and moved the family to New Mexico. So I've had family in New Mexico since 1919. So that means my mom lives here. So when your mom lives in New Mexico and you live on the East Coast and there's a project in New Mexico that you can finance, you better darn well finance that project. So I've heard for months and months and months now with my mom nagging saying, when are you gonna do more solar in New Mexico? So this is an opportunity for us to have a fantastic project in New Mexico. I get to check off the Visit the Mom block, so it's a win-win for all. So a lot has been talked about what this project is. I wasn't sure what everybody was gonna talk about. HD did a great job talking about some of the numbers of how many piles, how big the system is. We talked a little bit about the savings that the city's gonna enjoy for the next 25 years. So I'll just say, we invested here in Gallup to your infrastructure. It's roughly $14 million is what this project costs. And then over the next 25 years, we'll be paid back through the power purchase agreement that we have with the city. And this is a fantastic program for both us and for the city, as you'll save money on the power that you would have otherwise bought through the grid. So it's a win-win program for all. Now, Standard Solar is owned by a gas company out of Quebec, Canada, and our charter is to put as many renewable assets on the balance sheet, diversify their portfolio. So when a gas company is telling you, boy, we have to do something more than gas, it's telling you something. And they are firm believers that this is the future and gas isn't. So We're excited to help them with that endeavor. They've owned us for about a year, and we're putting projects like this all over the United States into service. And we're really excited to be able to do that and to use our low-cost capital to bring savings to those communities where we put these types of projects. So I'll just say thank you very much. My mom thanks you very, very much for doing this project. And I think I'm going to turn it over to thank you.
Thank you very much. I have the job of closing this auspicious occasion. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank our mayor and city council, our state and federal representatives who've joined us today, our wonderful city staff that have been part of the team to make this happen, and especially our private sector partners, Magnan and Standard Solar, who made this possible. And again, of course, our honored guest. We want to thank you for joining us on this very auspicious occasion and this historical occasion that is the beginning of our journey to the city's energy future. I know everyone's been thanked and everyone has outlined all the challenges and we've all lived through them, but I just want to take this opportunity to especially thank Richard Matsky and George Kozlowski for their retirement gift to the city. And here it is. This is a tribute to both of your problem-solving skills and your vision. We really appreciated it as much as we appreciate the council's leadership and perseverance to stick to it for all of the challenges that we faced. Was it worth it? Let's hear a round of applause on it. So with that, I'd like to ask our mayor and council, our representatives from the federal and state government, and our private sector partners, and Richard and some of the key staff to please join us in doing the ribbon cutting. Richard, you want to join the mayor and hold these scissors with George?
George, you want to get a hand on it?
How about solar energy grab?
No. Like the officials.
Okay. Somebody pull on each side of this ribbon to make it tight.
I got you. Okay, thanks, guys.
Ready? Woo!